we will make sure that we come out from under the consent decree. So that's our aim, is to come out in 22. Hopefully this will come to pass. Also, a little economic development project on Highway 80 is a main corridor coming through the city of Jackson. And we put $1 million in a apartment for senior citizens in the old Holiday Inn. The reason we think that that's a good investment, the contractors and the other investors in that had already put as much as $12 million. So the county just came in to try to help out with that corridor. I think that corridor can be a real asset in the city of Jackson, and that's a high priority for the next 2 years for the county to revitalize Highway 80. So this is the beginning. Hopefully we will get some things happening at the Metro Center. That looks very promising in the future. We want our Highway 80 in the city of Jackson to look like Highway 80 in in Clinton and in Madison and Rankin County. That's basically what we are going to be working on. That we worked on this year, and then we're going to be working on next year.
Well, that's a lot of impactful work. I'm glad to hear about the senior living situation for Highway 80, and that's on the old Holiday Inn that's right on. They used to be on the hill there in Highway 80. Yeah, that's a wonderful spot if the developers can get that going. That's exciting news. I want to talk about a little bit about the reentry program. That there's plans to continue that and continue to expand. There's funding continuing to expand that in 2022. Is that correct?
That's correct. 2022 should have at least 100 or so participants. We can take 60 at a time, and if we get 60, it doesn't take about 3 months to get them fully invested with a job and feeling good about themselves. So we don't know how many that we can transform, but there's a good possibility that we can make Jackson a much better place to live because of the crime problems that we have. As I stated when I was first elected, we want to make Hinds County and Jackson the Mecca of the South. And we can't do that with crime the way it is. Another thing that I think that we are going to be looking at is cleaning up the city. You gotta clean up the city of Jackson in order to become the Mecca of the South. If people, I did a study, and people just don't respect the ground around them. They throw paper out the car window just willy-nilly. They don't even think about it. They finish eating, they just throw it out the window. I saw it again and again. I would pick up the trash, they would throw it out. So we have to educate our people on keeping the area around them clean. Also, we're going to be working on we have to redistrict every 4 years. So we are going to get started trying to get districts equal in Hinds County. So a major project for us in 22. Another project that I think is very important for the city of Jackson and Hinds County is getting our water system where we want to end up in South Jackson with no water for at least a month. It happened that last freeze that we had. and we were going to put quite a few dollars in South Jackson, trying to solve that water problem that we have. I talked to the lieutenant governor, talked to the speaker, and they will match whatever funds that we put into the water problem that we have in the city of Jackson. So that's good news coming from the state. We already filed our resolutions to get those funds, and I've been in communication with both the lieutenant governor and the speaker within the last couple of days, and they are hot to trot. They are ready to make sure that they are doing all that they can to help the city of Jackson and Hinds County become self-sufficient as far as their water problems are concerned. That's big on the agenda for the state, and it's big on the agenda for the county, and it's big on the agenda for the city of Jackson. So we're all working together to make that happen.
Now, the rental assistance program is such an important program that we want to make sure that everybody grabs and get as much of this monies as possible, so none of it is sent back. There's still money available in the rental assistance program. Are you still urging people to go on and sign up?
Yes. If you lost your job because of COVID, and you have been living in your home for many months and have not paid, and they haven't told you to get out, all you have to do is call the Hinds County, and they will get you an application and get your rent paid. Now, that is a very important program because it puts you on the level playing field. And I can tell you, they not only will pay your rent, they will pay your electric bill or your gas bill if you have a problem paying that. We will do that too. So that's a very good program. And don't hesitate to call my office, 968-6768, or just call Hinds County, and we'll get you in the right spot to get your rental assistance.
Yeah, we want to just continue to...
Any other questions?
Yeah, we want to continue to urge folks to sign up for the rental assistance program. It'll help you pay your back rent and also 3 months in advance if you qualify. And as Supervisor Calhoun said, it also provides some help with utility bills. So anybody right now who has not signed up for that and is in need of it, or think you're going to be in need of it, make sure you're reaching out. That number that Representative Supervisor Calhoun gave is 601-968-6768 for that department, 601-968-6768. So make sure you engage with that. You mentioned the mask. Is that something you're saying that there's PPE available that people can pick up for their businesses?
Yeah, call our office. Any supervisor will provide you with free mask. It's very important that you wear that mask. So if you don't have a mask, give us a call, and we'll make sure that we get you some masks. If you're a church or any school, whatever, and you need masks, call your supervisor, and he will make sure that you get you some masks. Another thing I want to mention, and it's going back to the jail situation, the consent decree. We're in the process of building a new detention center, and the groundbreaking is going to be pretty soon. And we started looking at this before we were sworn in, and I can tell you, it is a slow process trying to get all the pieces together, but the pieces are coming together. So it seems as though we'll be breaking ground within the next few weeks to get our to get the detention center bill before this term is over. That's the idea, is to get a detention center so that we can come out from under this consent decree that's we hope will come out before we get it built. But I know that if we can get a new detention center, it will ensure that we will come out from under the consent decree.
Well,
I just mentioned that.
Well, this is a lot of amazing things that are happening through your department and within your all of your leadership there in your various from the various wards. And if the community needs to reach out from their particular areas in the city or the county, how do you suggest that they reach out and connect with you and the others that you're working with?
Well, if you want to, if you're in District 3 and you need PPEs, whatever, a lot of times we do pass out water when you run out of water or have a main break or something like that. Sometimes we do supply some water to some of the citizens. In a real emergency like the flood, we were able to supply water from the federal government ships water in. But right now we're kind of short on water, but we are trying to make sure that if you run short on water, to give us a call at our office, or if you're in District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, call that supervisor, and they will try to get whatever you need that's going to make your life a little bit better. That's the whole idea, to make life better for our citizens. So we'll be working very hard to make sure that you're taken care of in District 3. And of course, we are Hinds County supervisors, so if something happened in one district, the other supervisor will cover that if it's not being covered.
Well, these are some very important efforts and resources for us through the Hinds County Board of Supervisors. So folks needs to stay tuned to this. Go to the website, call and ask questions of what might be available. So that's, as Representative Supervisor Calhoun stated, this is always changing. There's different funding that comes through this particular department. So we need to stay abreast of those things. And we thank you so much, Supervisor Calhoun, for always coming on and updating us and sharing so people can access these particular resources and opportunity. Those people who are coming out of incarceration, you want to enter the reentry program and get some assistance around workforce training and getting yourselves to work. I like the idea that Supervisor Calhoun says that jobs that start at least at $15 an hour at almost a living wage, that you want to enter this program. Call that office at 601-968-6768 and get connected to those particular resources. DSE Training Academy has had an opportunity to come in and talk with those men and women who are part of this program, and with our CDL training program, where we put you through a CDL course, and in 4 weeks you can have your Class A CDL license and get on the road to success in jobs that start at $50,000 to $70,000 a year, plus great benefits. So we're glad to reach out to those individuals who are re-entering this our communities and want jobs that are higher paying jobs to take care of their families and be great providers. Trucking offers those opportunities. We have a couple of motor carriers that is very excited to put men and women who are coming out of incarceration to work. So you're not limited to those opportunities. As long as you don't have any violent crimes, like, it can't be anything like rape or any violence against children, then we can put you to work. Recently we had a gentleman that had robbed a bank previously. We had another individual had some theft issues that he had served time for. We were able to put him to work. So we want people to reach out to us. I'm going to give that number too while we're on that conversation. 601-351-5858. 601-351-5858. call DSC, talk to our missions representative, Miss Sylvia Walker, who's an amazing individual. She has a lot of options that she'll share with you. But it's a 4-week program. You'll be working in 4 weeks, and our first-year graduates earn anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000. So we're so glad to be working with the Hinds County Reentry Program on being one of their employers. So we appreciate that opportunity to connect. So I think we have ended our conversation with Hinds County Board of Supervisor Credell Calhoun. Mr. Calhoun, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Is there anything you'd like to tell us in wrapping up?
Thank you for inviting me. And the Hinds County Board of Supervisors is going to try to make sure that we have order in our boardroom. And that's a high priority. And we're going to continue to work for the citizens of Hinds County to make Jackson and Hinds County the mecca of the South. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you have a great evening, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. In a few minutes, we'll have Miss Thea Faulkner, who I think is almost ready to join us. Let's see if she's with us yet. But while we're waiting on Miss Teresa Jones and Miss Thea Faulkner to join us, well, there's Miss Teresa. Hello, Teresa.
Hey, Miss Willie, how are you doing?
All right. I hope you got home safely.
I did. Thank you.
Glad you did so much. We were waiting on Miss Thea, too, to chime in for just a few minutes to tell us about this event that's coming up. But we're going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully she'll pop on in a few minutes to tell us about Women for Progress event that's coming up on the 17th. But we want to talk about also, Teresa, you shared with me a very important decision that has been made by the legislature, and is this being brought up in this particular session, that we need to get our community engaged in, and we need to give them a call to action so they can begin to be part of this conversation. It's so important. It just amazes me, Teresa, how sometimes when we start these legislative sessions, already so many decisions have been made months and months before, and we say, well, how did that happen? How did we get in? And then we accuse our voters for not being tuned in, but a lot of these things are happening behind the scenes, and we do not have knowledge of because it's not being shared with us. So tell us about this piece around education and why it's important to our children, why it's important to education in the state of Mississippi.
Okay, so well, there was an article that came out recently about a 300-page document that the Mississippi Board of Education released that made a number of significant changes to the social studies curriculum. And some of those changes, I believe personally, are egregious in that they dilute the true history of Mississippi and the true history of our country in a way that's not necessarily, that's not accurate and completely truthful. And when I saw on the agenda we're going to discuss this, I was really excited because I want to talk about, why it is so important to teach truth and history, not just to children, but to everyone who's going to be here in this state and in this country. It informs our decisions. It allows us to kind of critically look at what happened in the past and make decisions that don't reflect those past failures. We're able to improve ourselves and to teach our children to be better than we were. And quite frankly, I believe not just kind of diluting the past, the things that have happened. I believe it serves as an injustice to the people who experienced the things of the past. And I think no one's really talking about that. People who could not have justice in life now also can't have justice in death because we're stripping them from our history. And I just think that's an injustice. And I think there is a number of things the public can do to get involved. Before going into all of those things, I see that Miss Faulkner has popped on right now. I want to kind of pass the mic over to her as the expert in the area of the history.
Miss Thea, are you with us?
I am here. Just ran in the door, so yes, I'm here. Great evening, ladies.
Women tickle me so very, very much. And I say tickle as in I get joy from it because it's amazing how we do what we do. And Thea, I know you've had a very, very long day in what you do. So we are glad. I think I just texted you minutes ago, or definitely less than an hour ago, and said, I need you to hop on to tell us about what's going on Monday. And of course,
and listen, I said, now you know I love Women for Progress. If I jumped on without lipstick on, but yes,
okay.
As Willie says all the time, yes.
Yeah, great. Now let's get right going because this is an exciting opportunity for. It is free. It's open to the public. Let me say, people like this, and I tell you, I don't want anybody to miss this opportunity on January 17th. It is our way to give service to each other in our communities. When we empower each other, that allows us an opportunity to do much, much more for our communities and the world that we live in the neighborhoods that we live in, the families that we are part of. So tell us about this amazing event that's coming up January 17th. That's very exciting.
Awesome. Thank you for this opportunity, Willie and Teresa. I do appreciate the Jones sisters. So, yes, on January 17th, it is Martin Luther King's Day of Service. And we are having a wonderful virtual event from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. We're asking women and men to join us and invest in yourself for 2 hours. On January 11th, we had a session called Prepare to Self-Care for Financial Success for 2022. And Pearl Wicks with Hope Community Credit Union came on and shared with us some of the things we need to keep in mind as we move towards improving our own financial literacy and financial solvency. That was the launch pad for what we'll do on the 17th. The 17th is, now that we've launched, we're on the road to financial success. And the whole premise is that as women, we are caregivers. We take care of everyone else. And as a result of that, oftentimes we come up on the short end of the stick. That's just reality. And so what we find is that women either don't feel comfortable or haven't taken the time to assess where we are financially. And so this whole event is designed to give us a number of viewpoints, points of view, information about a variety of financial concepts that we need to grasp. And so here's just very briefly what we'll talk about. Women for Progress has an amazing arsenal of some powerful women, right? So we have Dr. Olga Osby, our resident Dr. O. She is a certified financial social worker. Until I met her, I didn't know such a thing existed, right? But she's going to talk to us about some of the things that as women we have experienced that put seeds in us that now are producing how we respond or don't respond to our money. So she's going to talk about the social, emotional aspects of why we overspend, why we save, why we avoid financial issues, just so that we understand the emotion, because women, listen, unapologetically, we're emotional beings, right? So why do we handle money the way we do? That's what we're going to talk about first. Then we're going to have Lynette O'Neill, who is a retired, she was a comptroller with the military. She's going to come in and talk to us about how we calculate our net worth. Understanding what our assets are, what our liabilities are is the starting point. We all have to be honest of where we are before we know where we're going. So she's going to talk to us about calculating our net worth. Once those two presentations are done, we'll have 2 breakout sessions. So every participant will have an opportunity to select 2 breakout sessions, and we'll have 5 to choose from. The first will be budgeting. We'll have someone come and talk to us about understanding your credit report. What makes up your credit report? Why is a credit report important? How is a credit report used? How do you read it? How do you access it? What should you do? What shouldn't you do that impacts that credit score, and why that credit score is important? So we'll talk about budgeting, credit score. Then we have someone who's coming to talk about entrepreneurship. You know, the workforce is changing. Job opportunities are changing. Our millennials are teaching us, listen, if you're going to do it, get paid for it, unapologetically. So we've got a lot to learn from millennials. So we have one of our millennials, Miss Brandy Williams, who's going to come in and talk to us about entrepreneurship. Then we have one of our male members, Mr. Jim Griffith, who's going to talk to us about preparing for retirement. Listen, we were on a planning meeting the other day, and I was like, okay, Jim, you're overwhelming me now. You're giving me a lot of information. But he started talking about how we have to understand how taxes impact our ability to be financially solvent in retirement. Fascinating. And then we're going to have someone who is an honorary Women of Progress member, Ms. Frances Smith Dean, is going to talk to us about Investing 101. She's going to talk about investing in stock, and she's going to give us information about navigating through cryptocurrency. So just to recap, we have budgeting, understanding our credit report, planning for retirement, entrepreneurship, and Investing 101. So once we've had that general session, we'll go into a 30-minute breakout session. We'll come back together for just a minute, and then we'll move back into breakout sessions for the second session. So again, you'll be able to choose 2 sessions from the 5. And then at the end, we'll come back together. All of our presenters will be in a general session with all of the attendees, and there'll be a Q&A session. And that is it. It's free. We're working on finalizing the information that to register will be available very, very soon. But listen, one of the things that I did is that we're doing this on the day of service for Martin Luther King. Because if we increase our efficacy to take care of ourselves, we increase our potential to take care of other people. And if you study the life of Martin Luther King, you know, just prior to his death, he shifted away from racial injustice to really dealing with financial insecurity, a war on poverty. He talked about guaranteed income for families. His shift went to, we've got to talk about finances. So I think this is a very relevant topic for the day, for us to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King. And I just encourage you all not only to join us, but have your children in the room. Mm-hmm. Have your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your nephews. Everybody needs to hear this, because again, when women get an understanding of this, not only will they improve their lives, but they'll improve the lives of their children, and then we can start talking about building generational wealth.
Thea, I've put a link for the registration in the chat. In the comments on the radio radio feed. So if people want to click on that and register, they can right now. And so by Monday hit, you'll get a notice about the login link for the Zoom link. But right now, I've put that link. Please share, those of us that have joined the meeting tonight. Please share that with your friends and relatives and associates to join this particular event on Monday, January 17th from 10 to 12 p.m. So people sign up for the link. We'll continue to share. We'll be promoting that over the next few days with a link that you'll be able to connect to also. But in the meantime, it is in the comment section of our live feed here tonight, and you can share that. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Thea, and your entire team for putting so much effort into this, but by looking at this very strategically and very intentionally and pulling together. And the incredible women from this organization who have come together with their time and their talents and their resources to be able to share this with us. A free event. Oh my goodness, all of this type of engagement, this is, what does American Express say, is priceless. You can't put a price on all of this stuff. So this is a great opportunity. And thank you so much. We also was excited to have our Lunch and Learn this past Tuesday with our guest, Ms. Pearl Wicks from Hope Enterprise Corporation, who did a wonderful job. We look forward to continue working with her and the Hope Enterprise a suite of resources to be able to empower our community. So you're going to be hearing a lot more from them also as we move forward. But our Lunch and Learn, our program, which Ms. Thea Faulkner is director of and co-director with Ms. Michelle Rawls, is first Tuesdays of each month. The first Tuesdays of each month from 12 to 1, we're virtually, and we, with everything going on around COVID, we'll probably be virtual for a minute. And so continue to connect with us. Put it on your calendars right now that you will be connecting with us once a month on first Tuesdays from 12 to 1. You can get us on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptops. Every time we go live, if you don't do social media, go to womenforprogressradio.com. Put that in your in your browser, womenforprogressradio.com, and we're live there also. We're also available on wherever you get your podcasts. You can get that programming also. So thank you so much, Thea, for sharing tonight. Sure. I appreciate it. You can go get out of your clothes and into your PJs now.
Yes, indeed. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing everyone on Monday.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Teresa, that's a great event. We hope that you put that on your schedule for Monday. I know that you don't have any classes going on Monday, do you? I don't assume anything.
No, I don't, and I'm really glad to know about it because I'm deeply passionate about economic justice, so I'll be tuning in.
Okay, good. And tell your friends. I know you got a lot of women and young men who need to tap into this, so please share that link with them and let them send in for this great event that's going to be happening on Monday too. So I want you to give just a kind of summary and overview of what's happening with the education piece, and then let's see and just let people know that we're going to be asking them for a call to action on this particular topic.
Okay, so first of all, there are a lot of entities in Jackson that are spearheading some really amazing, taking some really amazing steps to challenging what's happening at the Board of Education. I want to make sure that they're given their credit because they've been working on this since the beginning and juggling all of the issues that they have to challenge with respect to some of these policies that have this disproportionate impact on Black people and women and working people. But to give people a background, in December, the Mississippi Board of Education actually made some changes to their social studies curriculum, as I mentioned before. And some of the changes omitted certain racial parts of the history from some of the standards. As we all know, I was a teacher, very brief time. My mom's a teacher. My best friend's a teacher. I know some of my other best friends are teachers, and they have these standards and objectives that they have to meet each grade level, each year. Often they're often tied to the testing, right? And so the Mississippi Board of Education in December omitted certain things from the curriculum, and a lot of those things included some racial issues, including the Fugitive Slave Act, Missouri Compromise, and so many other things. And they've been replaced with issues that are more broad or issues that don't necessarily relate to the prior thing that they just omitted. And I think there was even one section where Fannie Lou Hamer was stricken from that objective standard and replaced with this super broad standard, like, Mississippians. without actually mentioning certain key figures in civil rights history. And I think that's wrong. I think a lot of people who are seeing that are kind of confused as to why it's happening, because there are undoubtedly key figures in our history that everyone should know about. It shouldn't take someone becoming, a academic or a historian to know about Unita Blackwell, who was the first Black woman to be mayor in the state of Mississippi, and actually went on several trade missions with the President Lyndon B. Johnson, from the Mississippi Delta. It shouldn't take people like being well into the years to know Fannie Lou Hamer. And these are all Mississippi women. These are Mississippians who made some really amazing strides for Mississippians, but for the nation as a whole, and consequently the world. And they should be taught. Their names should be a part of the standard. And I think that, omitting them, it's a personal offense to me, because these people are from the Delta specifically, but because they're Black women who have made all these tremendous strides for people like me, for people like my friends, to go to school, to be able to vote, to be able to register to vote without all of these barriers, and just kind of striking them from history is an added slap in the face to what they already experienced when they fought for those rights during their time here on Earth. And you can read about it in the Sun Herald. You can read about it. Just Google. There are a lot of different people writing about what's happening. But because it happened in December, right before the holidays, people weren't paying attention. It was right before Christmas. And then you got New Year's. And then when everyone comes back, we're trying to catch up with work, not figure out why people like Fannie Lou Hamer are being written out of the history books. Right. And I mentioned this to a few people, some of my friends, where, how we didn't learn about the Tulsa massacre in our history books. And people wonder, what happened? What weren't these things in our history books? It's now. There's a process. It can't just be unilaterally done. So they do have a hearing coming up, and it's on January 28th. It's a public hearing. Any Mississippian can attend. If you want to voice your opinions, go to the State Department of Education's website, sign up to attend, and attend. Voice your opinion. Say what you like, what you don't like, and they have to hear you, because it's for the public. You can also submit a letter for public comment, and that's until February the 5th. And all of where to submit your letter, who to submit it for, that's all public information. And I think if we all work together now in tandem with the people who have been working so hard, like the ACLU and the Mississippi Center for Justice, then we can collectively make a change. We can ensure that our voices are heard, and we get to keep these people that we want our children learning about, that we want people to know. These people made profound impacts on our state that reverberates throughout history. What they did then is something that we are feeling the effects of now, and we should learn about them.
And Teresa, you mentioned some key organizations. The ACLU, I think you remember, did you say Southern Poverty Law Center? Are those...
Mississippi Center for Justice, yeah. One Voice, a lot of Jackson-based entities are really working on this.
And are there links right now on this story on their particular websites, do you know?
I'm not sure, but I can, share some of these things in the comments so people can have a easy access to go find everything. I can do that.
And in the meantime, they can also call those organizations, and I'm sure they will share that information too. And we'll be having something out there pretty soon also that you can link to on our Facebook page. We just didn't have time to get that together for you tonight, but we wanted to definitely just get you thinking about it and get you engaged with it so that you can go out and start investigating, so you can be part of the call to action that we need you to have. This is so very important, not only to what's happening right now, but what they're trying to do with this particular piece, but also where does the ball end? Next thing you know, what else are we going to strike from our history? And these are things that we have fought for so very, very long to get straight, to make sure that this information is continually shared. And so it's so important for us to stop right now and to be able to make sure people understand that you can't go back and change truth, and what really happened. And this is not just a black thing. When we're talking about history and Mississippi history and our history as a whole, this is important for us as a people. It doesn't matter what race you come from or what culture you come from. We need to have the truth revealed. We need to be able to deal with the truth so that we know that these things won't happen again in the future. And when it comes to our lives and lives of our families who struggled, who made the sacrifices through this thing, it is so right and so fair and so appropriate for their work to be acknowledged. So our people, not only we, but our young people, will be proud of the work that has done, and I'm proud that they stood up and they sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears for everything to make our lives better, to give us dignity, and give our communities dignity, give our families dignity, to just stand up for what they knew was right. And so that's so very important, and we don't want that to change. So we need your input on that particular thing. Well, we're getting down to, I think, the last couple of minutes. I do want to share a couple of things. I want to remind you, on January 17th from 10 to 12 p.m., getting ready to launch Financial Success for 2022. There's a link in the comments right now, and we'll continue to share with you on our Facebook page how you can register for that event. That's Monday, January 17th on MLK Day, and that's our call to action in our service. A lot of times we take that day to give service in our communities. Many of us go out and do cleanup projects. We work with the poor. We reach out to senior citizens. We reach out to the homeless. We register voters. We do a lot of different things. And it's up to you to take that day. But we also want to say to you, sit with us, Women for Progress, and get your financial houses in order. Because we know that once women have power over their finances, and I want to read you a quote that I shared the other day at Lunch and Learn, and I think this is so important for us as we go into this event on Monday. It says, when you don't have to worry about paying bills, you have time to think. That makes you extremely dangerous. This is why it is designed for us to never reach that level. If you're always in survival mode, you will never have time or energy to maximize your potential. So on Monday, we're going to try to give tools and provide a toolkit to help us all get our financial houses in order so that we can free up our minds and free up our time and our mental health to focus on some of the other major things in our lives and the lives of our family. So we want you to join us on Monday so you can be empowered by that information and empower others. The other thing I want to share with you, my grandmother used to say, it's a poor person who doesn't toot their own horn. And I want to share with you, with DSC Training Academy, we have a lot of great work opportunities, job opportunities, workforce training opportunities. We have a lot of scholarships. We have some grants that we are sharing around workforce training. If you're interested in higher paying jobs, we want you to give us a call. 601-351-5858. 601-351-5858. We are training individuals to become truck drivers, where our first year graduates are averaging more on the $70,000 a year for the first year. But we always say to you, within $50,000 to $70,000 a year, our first year graduates. But right now, with the need and demand for truck drivers, our first year graduates are averaging around $70,000 a year. What industry can you get in and make that kind of money? We have people who graduating from 4-year degrees in 4-year universities are not getting that out the gate. So these are great opportunities. I'm so proud of the women that we've been putting through this program. These women have been empowered so greatly. And it doesn't matter if you have children. We just enrolled a mother the other day. She has 3 children. okay? And she's ready to get on the road. She says, I'm tired of working 2 jobs. She said, I need a job that's going to pay me a great income, give me good benefits. I want to get out of debt. I want to have discretionary income. And she said, I know that truck driving is going to do that for me. So we have that opportunity. We also are enrolling new individuals for our coding academy. If you're interested in jobs in tech, we have a program at Mississippi Coding Academy that's 100% paid, no cost to the individual to go through the program. So if you're interested in becoming a coder, a lot of our coders are graduating, going to work in various industries, and many of them have jobs even where they can work from home, create your own business opportunities in tech. So we have a lot of great opportunities that are happening at DSC Training Academy, at our Workforce Center. We're located right on I-55 in South Jackson. We want you to stop in anytime. I just want to remind you, though, due to all the uptick of the numbers around COVID, any individual who rolls in our academy, you have to have a vaccination. You got to have both of your shots done, okay? So if you got one shot done, when you come in, you enroll and do your paperwork. After you have your second shot, then you can start your class. And we have to do that. We have to do that to keep our doors open. And we don't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do, but we just say if you're going to come to DSC Training Academy, you got to have your vaccination card. It's got to happen. So, but we'd love to have you. We got scholarships. We have grant opportunities. We have sponsored training programs. I'm just telling you, I had one partner that we signed up today that during the training period, your training period, now that's not even when you become a solo driver, but during your training period, your training pay is $1,100. What industry pays $1,100? There's folks who's been working in their careers 40 and 50 years and not making $1,100. Just during your training period as a truck driver, you're going to be getting $1,100. That's amazing. That's exciting opportunity. The benefits, 401k plan, I can just go on and on and on. But come on down to DSC Training Academy and let us talk to you about all of the workforce opportunities where we're putting men and women in the state of Mississippi to work in higher paying jobs. And we really appreciate the work that we've been able to do and your support of our work. But we want you to come on down. We've got to get Mississippians back to work. There's a lot of job opportunities all across Hinds County, all across the state of Mississippi. This is really the job market for job seekers. Whether you want to be a truck driver, whether you want to be in tech, whether you want to be in administration, this is the time. I tell people right now, especially women, if you applied for a job 2 years ago and that company, that corporation might have turned you down and said, hey, you don't qualify, you have to have this, that, or the other. I bet you if you go back to that particular company and apply for a job, they will eat you up, okay? Because that is the market right now. There's a lot of job opportunities for you, and I don't want people, no matter what your level of education, where you come from, to stop you from seeking and living out your dreams right now. This is a great opportunity. Don't sit back and wait till everybody else takes it up. Go out right now, seek the opportunities that's available. Reach out to your Chamber of Commerce. Reach out to all your Win Job Centers. Pick up your paper. Call companies that you've always wanted to work for in Mississippi. Let's say you just call them and say, before they had this stringent requirements, you had to have this, you have to have this. A lot of times they're looking to even do on-the-job training for you. There's a lot of companies I talk to every single day that are allowed to do that. I had a company out of Washington, D.C. that's called me that we're putting people to work at $25 an hour. $25 an hour, okay? I mean, every single day I had another company just walked in off the street and said, look, Miss Jones, we heard about that you got people who are ready to go to work. And it wasn't even about truck driving. They just heard that we put people to work. And we said, yes, give us the information. We'll get people hired. So call us. We'll look at what your skill set are, what you're looking to do. And if we don't place you to work in our job and opportunities, we have other opportunities that we can refer you to. And let me tell you what's great about DSC. We're not just going to give you a telephone number and give you a name and say, call this people. We're going to walk you through the process. We're going to walk you through. We're going to help you complete the application. We're going to follow up with the application. We're going to make sure that you get access to everything. A lot of times we think, well, this person got 2 or 3 degrees. They know how to go through the process. But sometimes there's obstacles there. There's follow-up that's required. All those kind of things. And we want to help you with that. Because we're all about workforce. We want to put Mississippians to work in higher paying jobs. Not just put you to work. What did I say? We want to put you to work in higher paying jobs, okay? And so that's what we do at DSC. 601-351-5858. 601-351-5858. Our website is drivingyourfuturems.com. drivingyourfuturems.com or dsctrainingacademy.com. Reach out to us. We're going to be having some future conversations we move forward over the next couple of weeks about all the opportunities that are available, how you can really help employers get back up to their full capacity by getting back to work, to putting your young people back to work. We have to get Mississippi back to working. It is essential for us to continue to empower our workforce. Well, this has been the Women for Progress radio show. Teresa Jones, thank you so much for jumping on. And I hope you get your vehicle up and running again and working properly. But thank you so much for jumping on. Thanks to Thea Faulkner for sharing with us about January 17th, our event for Women for Progress. Thanks, Ms. Juanita Brown, our great executive producer, for putting together our program tonight. And our thanks to our supervisor, Cardell Calhoun, for coming on and updating us on what that particular department and board has done in 2021, and things that we can look for in 2022. Thanks him so much for continuing to update us on all of those particular opportunities. We want you to continue to reach out to the rental assistance program. There's still money available. If you need help with back rent, or the rentership assistance program will pay 3 months in advance for you. Reach out if you need that help, or even you think you're going to need that help. Please reach out on that. If you have someone that's coming out of incarceration and need to help getting employed in higher paying jobs, Hinds County has also a reentry program that will help you around soft skills, getting your resume together, helping you get your driver's license, everything in order, ID, and put you in opportunities regarding workforce. If you need PPE, if your organization, your business need PPE supplies, Hinds County supervisors have that also. And there's a lot of great opportunities that are coming forward, so let's stay tuned. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. That wraps up the show for tonight. And thank you for continuing watching and stay tuned and supporting the Women for Progress Radio Network. Good evening and good night.
Good evening.